My ass about an hour ago, almost choked to death on a little glizzy.
Oh,
So I had to have Pops, shout out Pops. He hit the Heimlich on me, got the glizzy gobbler up, and it was crazy. Saw my life flash before my eyes. Probably start to chew my food a little more because
Right.
yeah,
oh
Because
yeah.
what is this, Josh? The
this
third time someone's had to keep you from choking on something?
yeah, something like that. But
That's
yeah, for all
crazy.
you glizzy gobblers out there, like make
Oh,
sure you
God.
chew that thing up before you try to swallow it. So
And for anybody over 25, that's a hot dog.
what is good, you guys? We are back for what is this, episode 18 or 8 of season 2?
Yes, I think that's right. Yep.
Episode
Season
8
2,
of season
episode
2.
8 or 18. I like
Yep.
18.
Of the Don't Do Stupid Shit podcast, hosted by myself, Jesh, Janitor Jesh, whatever you want to call me, and my lovely mother, Christina.
Hey, guys.
Today we have a pretty exciting and unique guest, my boy Serge, Royal Serge.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yay. I'm going to go with the clap.
Thank you guys for letting me be
Ooh.
on this podcast and tell my story and just chat with you guys. I've
Yeah.
known Joshua about three plus years, 4+ years. So
I
Yeah.
love that. We're excited to have you. So it's
yeah,
fun.
Yeah, I think we met. It was super random one day. I was with Mosey and JD, and you came through to drop off some merch, and
yeah.
I remember you showed some love and gave me like one of your first pieces, like the
Oh
pink
yeah,
hoodie.
yep. I remember
And
that. I remember Midget was there. I think Suave was there too.
yeah, and ever since then, bro, like I've been watching the growth of your brand. You've been going crazy, bro. Like
Thank you.
you've
Means a
grown
lot.
so much over the last like few years. Watching you from then to now is just really incredible to see.
Thank you.
The celebrities, the artists you work with. I mean, the list goes on and on of the people rocking your clothes right now, and that's really cool to see a creative and somebody out of my city, Seattle. Even though you're a little
Yeah,
north of Seattle,
yeah.
still the general
Marysville.
Washington.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's really cool.
Washington has so much talent. It's like I feel like if we just work together, like we would be as big as Cali or like Atlanta and stuff. We have so much talent when it comes to like fashion, music, athletes, the whole nine. So
Yeah,
Washington's definitely slept on.
that's
Yeah,
facts.
there's definitely a group of you right around your
Oh yeah,
guys' age that I think we've been seeing since you guys were younger, kind of
oh
coming
yeah,
up. So yeah, there's a deep pool of talent, and you guys are all into a lot of different things, which is pretty cool.
yeah. It's getting there. Like you doing your YouTube and stuff like that. You got Kid Steez, you got Jacob Stars from here. You got Richie Lee. Like there's so many like stars here. You know what I mean? And I feel like we're just slept on a little bit. Like we gotta. It'll come up though for sure.
We those guys that gotta work a little harder to get
Yep.
that. But
Yep.
it's good. It'll come for sure. What year did you graduate high school?
Graduated in
Okay.
19. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
you were just a year below me.
Yeah, I went to MP and I was like going there through ninth and 10th grade, and then I started like getting bullied. Well, I got bullied my whole life, but anyways, I just like got tired of like going to school and just get bullied and stuff like that. So I told my mom, I was like, "Hey, just let's put me in a school where I could just focus, do what I like need to do, and then get school done." Like I didn't really like school. I didn't like going to school. I was not a person. I used to cry to my mom. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. But she's like, oh, it's like after this, you won't even see those people. I was like, yeah, okay.
Hmm.
So I went to Mountain View. That's where I graduated. It's an alternative school, and that's like hands-on, like teacher with student. So it's like super quick. So I got so focused that I basically finished high school in 11th grade. I only had one class in 12th grade, but I used to go to school in like 11th grade. So I did all that, and then the 11th grade, I just started working, and I just started working on my brand. They had a computer class, Mrs. Polly, yeah, that was her name. I started doing Photoshop, and I started learning how to like design and stuff like that. And at the beginning, it's hard because like you're teaching yourself. Like even the teacher doesn't really know about Photoshop and stuff like that. And I didn't even like really look at YouTube. I just learned it all on my own. That's why it took so long. But whenever you learn it on your own, like it's in your mind, like it's stuck there because you have to do it over and over and over till, you know, practice makes perfect. So started doing that. But that's how I started getting into Photoshop.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like people that go the farthest in life and have like super creative minds and come up with things,
Yeah.
they don't fit the mold that like
Mm-mm.
society wants to push them in,
Nope.
right?
Yep.
And so then when you're in school and you're like engaging in these environments that are trying to make you fit like this agenda and the standard, you don't. And
Yep.
the kids that aren't creative, and I don't want to be mean, but the kids that aren't maybe the brightest, they like to pick on people, and like that's the thing that is so unfortunate about being young is like you just don't have the maturity to understand that people that stand out in the world are standing out all the time.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. That's why like I look like I like help kids that are going through stuff like that. Like very, very close with like people that are going like through like cancer, like people that have like autism and stuff like that. And I'm just always there to like be that person because like a lot of those kids feel alone, you know, because everybody judges them and everything. When I was in elementary school, I used to work with like the kids that had autism or like kids that like kind of was like harder to like understand and stuff like that. And I would be there and like you connecting and just like, you know, playing with them or like doing board games and stuff like that. It's the nicest person you ever meet. You know what I mean? Like, and the bond is so strong. You know what I mean? So I had a cousin, RP, Rose. She had autism, but she was so cool. You know what I mean? So friendly and stuff like that. There's things that like you tell her like not to do, but she was very strong in the heart.
Yeah, they always are because I think what you're getting is the most authentic version of a person. Right? There's no pretenses. They're not putting on a show. They have no masks. They're showing up as like real people.
They're
and
just being
that
there.
that is such, I think we're all drawn to it, but I think there's a lot of people that are really afraid of that, right?
Yep.
Because
especially in this generation, I feel like there's a lot of people that are like trying to act like something they're not. And then it's like somebody just asked me, like, I was like, you know, whenever you go to school and everybody's like, oh, I want to be somebody now, this whole generation is like, oh, I want to be like Lil Wayne. I want to be like this. I want to be like Virgil and stuff like that. Well, like you want to be yourself because you never know. You could even be bigger than Lil Wayne, you know, Virgil, the whole nine. Like they looked up to somebody and look how big they got. They got even bigger than what they look up to. So I feel like people limit themselves. It's all about mindset and just knowing that you're going to be successful and just always pushing and pushing and pushing. Like every day, some days you see a minor step, but that minor step is a big, but we don't see it in like how I was trying to say, like a big like achievement because it's so minor. Yeah.
Right. We don't see how it works into that like bigger picture.
Yep.
And how all those things kind of build on each other.
Yeah, now that where I'm at now, I'm just like I see it. I'm just like, okay, this happened for a reason. This is why I did this. This is why this happened, and it's crazy because in the moment you're like, wow, like this didn't happen. Like there'll be times where I link up with like artists or like celebrities. I give them clothes, and then they like kind of like brush me off, and then I'm like, why this happened? And then the next month I got a huge celebrity like showing mad love or like working with this celebrity and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wow, that's super cool. So tell us what is your what's been your like maybe most recent like that you feel is like your biggest achievement or something that you really like had kind of dreamt of and then now you're kind of seeing it happen? Or
I feel like SneakerCon because I haven't, like I was telling Joshua, I was I'm about to do a pop up Lucky Dog, but before then I've never really did no like pop ups like in meeting everybody. So like SneakerCon was crazy, like just showing like how much love and support I have like through the city or like people from Oregon that came through California just to like come to my booth, and there was like I think like 2,000 people at my booth. It's on my vlog and stuff, but just like meeting everybody and like them telling me how my like clothing impacted them, like help them from suicide or depression and like stuff like that. That really means a lot to me. That's why I made this. Is like I don't look at fashion as like money or like of course dressing nice and stuff like that because I come from a family that's like super poor, so I never really had money like that. So I would always shop at like Goodwill or stuff like that. So I just love making clothes that people can relate to and make them like a better day and feel like they're not alone and you got somebody, or like you're that person, you're him, you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
type.
Yeah. So, okay. Can I say this real quick,
Yeah.
Josh? Because
Yeah.
that kind of
Go
just
for
leads
it.
into that question. I was checking out your stuff and I noticed some pretty consistent themes, and I was so curious about it,
Mhm.
which is like, one is that you use a heart a lot in your stuff. And so I just wanted to hear about that, like where that came from. And
So the heart comes from, I have a heart problem. I have pulmonary valve stenosis. So
okay.
just like going like, cause so when I was born, the first day the doctor said I only lived 5 days, 5 days, and then I had my open heart surgery, and then I had that one, and
Wow.
I had another one. But just like that, just like, and I like growing up, my mom's always raised me like treat everyone equally, like even if they're rich, poor, whatever they position that they're in life. You know what I mean? I feel like the heart is very strong as us as persons, because like one, it helps us live, but all of our feelings come from the heart. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
that's why I really did it. And just like, I don't know, like I said, growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends and stuff. So like the Heart Boy character came in as like that person that like
Mm.
everybody needs in their life, knowing they have that like friend or like that person whenever it's dark times. Because there's times wherever you're like in depression, like me, like I never really had nobody. So like I have my mom, she was my guardian angel for sure. Like if without her, I don't think I'd even be here. But anyways,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
No,
she
I
might,
love that.
yeah,
Shout out, mom.
yeah, she might pull up here soon. She's
Okay.
doing some errands, but yeah. Other than that, it's a lot. It's a
I
lot.
love
I
that.
got a story. So with my brand, I'm trying to like tell a story type like story, and like people relate. Like I got a new character coming out. His name's Turbo the Turtle, and the turtle represents me going into my first it was my first big surgery. It was I had to get a whole construction of my leg and stuff like that. They took my bone, they cut
Mm.
my tendon, the whole nine. But my first stuffed animal that my mom got me was a turtle. And then growing up, I had two turtles. I have another turtle, yeah.
Okay.
Yo, this is actually so I'm not even trying to like butt in or anything. I'm really enjoying just like
Yeah.
hearing all this because
Same.
I think there's a level of like, obviously I've known you for a good few years now and
Yeah.
we've never gotten this deep in conversation.
Yeah.
It's always just been showing love back and
Yeah.
forth, chopping it up about clothing, music,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And hearing all of this kind of background now, like
Mm-hmm.
it it's
That's what
really
yeah.
fascinating to me. I
I
really
appreciate
like
it.
appreciate conversations
Thank
like this.
I
So,
appreciate
Yeah.
you having me come on, Like I said, you
of
guys are great
course.
people. And
Yeah.
I see like you guys actually care. Like there's people that like bring me on podcasts that don't really like, you could tell that they just want me on there just for like that. This is like genuine. So I
Yeah.
Yeah.
appreciate that.
No, it's so I love this because when I was looking at your stuff, I definitely was like, there's a message here. I don't know what it is, but it's very clear that there's super intention going
Yeah.
into this thing. And I think that is, man, when you can tap into a purpose and tie that into what you're doing, that's some powerful stuff.
That's the stuff that lasts the longest, the stuff with like
Yeah.
meaning, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of
Yes.
these brands that, they make all this clothing and stuff like that. There's no message, and then 1 to 2 years, 3 years, they have like that road, and then all of a sudden they just fall off because there's no meaning, there's no, I mean, there's no story behind it. Like
Yeah.
Virgil with Off White, he had a huge story, like all the
Mhm.
lectures and stuff like that, and look how he's gone, and it's still around. That's my favorite designer of all time, probably him or like Nigo that made it
Virgil's
big.
Virgil's a legend.
Oh yeah,
Virgil, like R.I.P. But like
RIP.
his story and everything he did with Off White and like how he like it's really inspiring. And like
Mm-hmm.
you said, like those are the stories that like inspired the next generation and create
Yep.
like those feelings and like allow people to express themselves through the journey and like what they're doing, whether it's music,
Yep.
art, fashion. I mean, you could be doing anything, but as long as you have something to like, put into it that's of value, like I think that's where like people are really inspired and
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's what I like.
you touch at the like I think Josh and I talk about this a lot, but you're touching at the like heart of this whole thing, right? Which is this idea that we're all here connected in this journey. We're we're intermingling and intermixing with each other in a way that can have a positive outcome or a negative outcome, right? And what you give to that and what you bring to that makes a difference.
She's speaking facts.
Facts.
Yeah. Hey, so talk about that piece that you have. I noticed one of them where it says, I think it says, we or I hide
I have
my
my emotions.
emotion. Yeah.
I'm not like me as a person. I know a lot of people, like, there's a lot of people that just hide what they're going through. Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to, like, it's so easy to put on a smile, but you never know what that person's going through. I lost one of my best friends to suicide. He, like, was so happy, so happy, so happy, so happy. And then all of a sudden and I'm like, whoa, like, that was crazy. So just like that, just showing that, like I said, another piece that people can relate to is like people really hide like what they're going through. You know what I mean? The happiest people could be the like person that has the most depression or like is going through something. You never know. There's been times with me where I'm going through so much in life, and everybody, I'm at this, you know what I mean? I'm coming up, everybody's looking up to me, all these kids are looking up to me, and you have to, you know what I mean? All these kids are looking up to you. If I start like, you know, being sad or like showing that I got like depression or stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, that's going to affect the youth or like, you know what I mean? That type of stuff. Just
Yeah.
people look up to you, you know what I mean? Like, look at like the athletes and stuff like that. If an athlete does this or like this, their name or like, you know what I mean? That type of stuff.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's a message right there.
Yeah, and then like the emotions camo, that's the one that really blew me up. I was at work. I was working at a casino at the time, and I went to Zoomies after work, and I seen the rip and dip camo. Like, have you ever seen it with the cats and stuff? And it was like,
Yeah, I've seen
that.
it.
Yeah, I was like, that camo don't even got no meaning. So I was like, all right, I need to make a camo that has meaning, because camo like draws in, like ties in together, you know, to make that piece.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like what we go through in life, the happies and the sads, you know, it's our life, but we go through the happy times, we go through the sad times, and it makes us as who we are as one. So that's how the emotions camo came up.
Yeah. So see, you answered my next question. Because that was the other one I noticed. I was like, hey, this is so great. Like, I love that varsity jacket.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really great stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, I love making stuff that people can relate to and it just lasts. And I'm very grateful to be where I'm at.
Yeah. So go ahead, Josh. Sorry. I'm like so
good.
excited about this one.
This is cool. I was gonna say let's throw it back a little bit. I'm curious. Obviously, you've explained a lot of like the meaning behind the clothing and like what you're doing. What got you to like choose fashion or clothing as a way to like express this, like versus music or some other form of art?
I always loved fashion. Like, as a kid, I used to always try to be fly, you know, with what I had. Like, there's times where, like, you know, I'd get the money for, like, birthday money, and I always spend it on, like, clothes and stuff like that. And I feel like, so why I chose fashion is you wear clothes every single day. So you got to put something on every single day. And I feel like I like fashion more just because, like, there's a story, like, the whole nine. I got into music a little bit. I haven't made no music, but I feel like just fashion to me, just as a kid, like, even whenever I was like getting bullied and stuff like that, I'd be fly. They'd be like, "Oh, you got the da da da," like, you got the Jordans on, or you got this on, and I'm just like, yeah, like, this is me and stuff like that. So like, I just feel like I could express who I am as a person. You know, people like to judge people on like where they're at, like if they're rich, poor. You know what I mean? Like, even in this generation, like, they'll see somebody and be like, oh yeah, he's not doing anything like that. But they don't even know what that person's going through. That's why I always like super nice, kind to people, because you never know what people are going through. If you make their day, you know, they're gonna smile, stuff like that. It's like, and that's the thing. Like I said, as humans, we can hide a lot.
Yeah.
So, but fashion for me, like I said, I love fashion because it's part of art, and I love art. Art is a story. You could tell a whole story, and it just lasts longer. And I feel like, I don't know. I don't think I freestyle for fun sometimes, but music, nah, not for me. Fashion, 100%. I don't know. I just love it because like it's drawing, it's making art and stuff like that, and I just love fashion, like I said, because like people really put that on. You know what I mean? Like, put your message on, or like,
yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Feel that.
Yeah, no, you really do. every day you're wearing something, right? And it can convey a message, and it can cover things,
Yeah.
and it can also tell somebody something about you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it does and it does tie in with your emotions. Like the way that you choose something to wear has a lot to do with how you feel that day, right? Like if you're feeling yourself, you're like dressing up.
Yeah.
If you're not and you want to just like do
Yeah.
nothing, you're throwing on the sweats and you're
Yeah.
staying home.
Yeah. And then another
Right?
thing while you were talking, and then also just like growing up, I couldn't afford like high designer stuff or anything like that. So that's why my brand, you can see that I do the low tier. So people that can't really afford clothing, like can get stuff in my pieces. And then you got the mid tier, like the 9 to 5, like people, and then the high tier, whoever's like super into fashion, wants to spend, a lot of money on fashion. It's crazy how much people spend money on fashion.
That's true.
Especially with designer stuff. I'm like, people are like, "Oh, you're charging too much for $400 for a varsity." I was like, "Well, I'm using the same material as Louis Vuitton, Gucci, the whole nine, and they're charging 18,000." Like, I mean, you're just
that's
buying it for the
facts.
name. That's
No,
the thing.
and
So
I mean that's one thing I've always respected, bro. Is like I see you do these drops where you got like $10 tees or
yep,
these
I
things
have
that are
to.
like, and it's cool. I've never really thought about it that way, but now that you kind of break it down, it really makes sense
Yeah,
because you're giving the people that may not have the financial stability to purchase $100 t-shirt still like have the ability to rock the brand
yep,
and show
Yeah.
love and wear something that they feel is meaningful to them or they appreciate.
100%,
So
100%. And like I said, like a lot of people like come to me and they'll be like, yeah, I can't afford this. So like this one at the beginning, they're like, I couldn't afford this. And I was like, okay, like I'm starting, like I got to make money to survive and stuff like that. But how can I like, target that group and make sure then people can get stuff. But at the same time, I got like other stuff. So that's what happened with the $10 tees, I $50 hoodies, like all that stuff. And I use the best materials that I can for that certain price. And the reason why I did a whole bunch of like categories is because there was times where I would drop affordable stuff and then the people mid tier would be like, ugh, the quality on this is like, I'm like, it's a $10 tee. Like, what do you expect? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I can't do I can't have a t-shirt that's $10 feel like a $200 t-shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
So
think people realize that there's actual fabric grades.
there's a lot like I had to learn a lot. It's studying. I study a lot. Everybody asks me, how did I get where I'm at? What's the key to everything? And I tell them, study, know your message, know like your audience, who you want to target, and just work and just believe in yourself. That's all you got to do.
Oh, that's it. That's so true. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Josh, we've been just talking about that lately, just even about him with his like YouTube stuff, knowing what his message is, knowing his audience, and then just putting in that work.
Yeah, and there's consistency, and you see it. He's posting a video almost every day. I always show love and stuff. I try to stay off my phone a lot because like there's times, like I said, we live in reality. There's times where you go on Instagram and you see people like all this, and I'm just like, nah, like it's a facade sometimes. Social media is a facade sometimes.
definitely.
Yeah. A lot of the times.
Yeah.
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 I had a question. It's been stuck on me for like 5 minutes now, but I'm curious. Who, if you can, who would be, because obviously I mentioned it at the beginning, you've worked with a lot of really big celebrities. You see a lot of these rappers, a lot of these athletes, a lot of celebrities wearing your clothing right now. Who would be like 3 or 5 of like the biggest or most like exciting celebrities that you've been able to see wear your clothing? Like people that you may have looked up to or like
Definitely Trippy. I feel like Trippy was dope because like
Trippie Redd.
just like going through like life and stuff in high school, I used to listen to his music because it was like super like it would help with like depression and just like stuff like that. I feel like whenever I met him too, like we clicked, like just his story and just how humble he is and as a person, he's a human being. It was so funny because I had my homie William, shout out William. First time ever meeting Trippy was backstage at the state showbox. But we went to LA and we went to Kush Factory. They have like a studio in there.
Yep.
And mind you, my buddy William, you can ask anybody. He's like outgoing, you know, longboarding, like super, super. He wouldn't be in the rapper scene. That's what I'm trying to get, right? And so like we were there, and he like tapped Trippy on the shoulder. And he's like, "Hey, bro, I'm eating. By the way, da da da." So Trippy's like, "I can't talk and eat," and William's like, "Oh no, it's good." Bro, this kid got so excited when Trippy came up to him and like gave him a hug. But he's like, "What's good?" Bro, this kid started fucking smiling. He's like, all this, and then like he brought out his camera. He's like, "Hey, can you send a video to my? Can you make a video for my mom?" And then just how humble he is. And then just like whenever I went to his crib in Calabasas, I was just showing him my art, and he's like, I can really see like your passion through like your passion to like fashion, and then like your messages and all that. I was like, yeah. And then I was showing him like shoes I was designing. I was like, nah, I'm probably not gonna drop that because like they look like Nike and stuff. He's like, well, somebody got to get like some like an idea somewhere and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, you're right. But just him just like always like loving my art and just believing in me. That's what I really like, bro. It's people that you know you show love and they show love back always. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm big on. You know, because there's times where I sent like $3,000 to like celebrity like da da da, and they show no love, or you know what I mean, that's the type of stuff. I've been learning that though. Like I said, growing up, my mom raised me as a person to always like look up to people, not look up to help people and stuff like that. Like even whenever I was in school, like I would have like lunch and stuff, and like people wouldn't be able to like eat stuff, and I'd still give them my food. Like that's just me. I have a big heart, but I'm learning. I'm 22. I just turned 22 yesterday.
Happy
Oh, happy
birthday!
birthday!
Yeah, I
Thank you.
Woo!
forgot.
Happy
Like,
birthday.
I'm really blessed to see 22. It's crazy. The doctors told me I
Wow.
wouldn't even pass 5 days, so it's a miracle. So my mom says a miracle child.
Yeah, exactly. She's
But
right.
yeah, but I've just been learning. I'm like I said, I'm 22 now. That like people like to take advantage of people that have big hearts and stuff like that. And I've been learning. There's people that will, you know, will take advantage of you, and there's people that actually need it. You know what I mean? So I've been watching
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah, it's crazy. You talk about Trippy. I mean, I definitely listened to his music when I was in high school. I wasn't a crazy fan of Trippy. I
yeah,
always fucked with his music though, and I actually met him for the first time in the same spot in the
yeah,
studio back of Kush Factory.
yeah.
So that's kind of funny.
And then
He's
another one. Oh,
super cool though.
oh yeah. Another one's definitely Mosey. Like I said, he's definitely top there too. Cause like even he was 13. I remember I was going through depression and stuff like that, and he made like this it was like a Snapchat. He was in a wife beater, mind you. He's 13. He said like stop hating. He said that like getting money, and then he said Lil Mosey, and he was young, and just him like. And him just like as a younger like Mosey and stuff like that, he'd like check up on me, and he still does. Like of course he's like up, you know what I mean, up there. So like his phone's always blowing up and stuff like that. And that's also another thing that I got used to is like I'd get celebrities' numbers and I'd text them, and then like they would like text me a week, and I'm just like, oh wait, like they're celebrity. You know what I mean, there's so many people blowing up their phone and stuff like that. So but just like the genuine connection that he's like showed love to the brand, like always supported me, like always checks up on me and stuff like that. That's like I said, genuine love.
Yeah.
And then another person, Draco, RP, my brother, he was
RP.
super genuine too, like him. Like he checked up on me. Like the first time ever meeting him, like we were in the studio. That man freestyled 5 songs back to back. I was like, damn, like you're crazy and stuff like that. And just him like checking up on me. That I'm really big on like people like actually like caring about somebody, like checking up. Like I don't know, I'm big on that because there's like we live in a world where people like to use people and stuff like that, and people only fuck with you for like what you have, or you know what I mean, that's the type of stuff.
Yeah.
So and then you're gonna talk.
I was just gonna Mom Draco. You know who that is or no?
I mean, I know the name, and
That's the
sounds
artist.
so familiar.
My friend Damon, the one I've showed you his
Shout out
music.
Damon.
That he met Draco in L.A. That story I told you about, and traffic.
Yeah.
That story's so great.
He passed away.
Yes.
RIP.
Yeah, that's
really
why
sad.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Draco the ruler though.
Yeah.
But just like even the Damien story, you can just see how like cool, like how great and humble, like an amazing person he is. Like you take a wrong turn at a street and then find this artist, and then like, hey, hop in my
In
Rolls
traffic.
Royce. Yeah, hop in my Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? Take them on tour. Like, that's the type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said.
That's such a cool story too, bro. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're gonna have Damon on for an
Oh, yeah.
episode for
That's going to
sure.
be great.
But yeah, we'll save that story for that episode. But it's a really cool story.
Yeah. So, like I said, there's so much talent in this Seattle. Like, I was going to say city, but I'm not from Seattle. But just Seattle in general.
Yeah, I think you guys have like such a cool connection, as we've had different people on the pod here and different people that I'm getting to know that Josh has known for years. It seems like you all have one thing in common, and that's that you actually genuinely care.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And like, you guys are drawing to each other as a result of that. And
100%.
like, that's such a good thing. Like, you guys are young and you're getting that message of how much it actually matters to genuinely care about people. And then also to realize that y'all are different.
Yep.
And you all are coming with your different stories and your different talents, and pushing each other in the good way of like support, and like, is really the best thing that you guys can do to care for one another and like see each other succeed. Like, my mom heart is all warm and fuzzy over that.
Yeah. And just like, even like people ask me, like, cause I don't drink, I used to smoke and stuff like that, but just like, I had an older brother, and it kind of like hurts talking about it, but like, we never really got along like growing up, cause he was my stepbrother, but we got along every once in a while. But whenever we started getting to like together and started hanging out and everything, he started doing heroin. And that really hurts me, because I'm like, we were building a bond, and then you get on heroin, and then he went to prison for 10 years. And it's like, it's just, that really hurt, just because, like, you know, growing up, we got along a little bit, but he was like in the teenage, like partying, like all that stuff like that. And like, even my family, like we would go to like family functions for like my mom's side, and they would always drink and like get in fights and stuff like that. And I was like, So like, I have nothing against with drinking. It's just not for me and stuff like that. But that's why everybody's like, oh, why don't you party? Why don't you go to clubs? I was like, well, one, I'm focused on my dreams. Like, I'm working 24/7. Like, that's all I do.
That's right.
And then just
you
like,
and mom. You and mom would really get along with that.
Yeah.
The whole
and then,
drinking. And
then two, like, Seattle's getting very dangerous. Like, it's getting very dangerous. So I just like to stay in the house. So
accurate.
Okay. So this leads to another question. This is a random question. Obviously, you've been in Seattle, north of Seattle, Marysville, your whole life.
Yep.
When do you plan on ever leaving the state? And if so, like, where would you want to live? Like, where's the ideal spot?
Good question.
I don't think I go to like different states and stuff for not trips, but business trips and stuff, you know, for like business. I just love Washington, like, me personally, just because it's like a family. I'm very big on family, so it's like a very family, like, to me, it's like a family state. Like, you can like literally move to like somewhere out of like in nowhere, and it's like, it's just great, you know. The of course it's raining and stuff like that, but I feel like it's more homey here. Like, I go to like Florida, and I go to like Miami, and I see like the lifestyle. I was like, yeah, this ain't my lifestyle. Like, this ain't my lifestyle. And then just like, I mean, I've been to LA. LA is cool, but I don't know. It don't really fit me. Like, I'm not Hollywood. I'm not a Hollywood person. I'm humble. You know what I mean?
I hear that, bro.
I know who I am. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's like times where I like I said, you meet people, and like this is what sometimes I've heard like a statement of like, never meet your icons or who you look up to, or like somebody that, because you meet them, and then you're like,
and you'll be disappointed.
Yeah, you're like, that motherfucker was rude, or you know what I mean? That type of stuff. So, yeah, but. Yeah, it's so genuine. But yeah, I love Washington just because, like, it's just, I don't know, just I was raised here, and I just feel like the roots, and then just like, I just love like how it's like,
feels like home to you.
Yeah,
I get exactly what you're saying, because I just turned 47.
Yeah.
So I've been growing up and lived in the Pacific Northwest my entire life.
Yep.
At this point, I've had the privilege of traveling a lot to a lot of places around the world and in the U.S.
She's a flight attendant.
Yeah, I'm a flight attendant. Yeah. Yeah. And
that's awesome.
I can't get away from the Northwest. Like I've seen some beautiful places, but there's something about this area that there's almost kind of a come as you are kind of attitude where like you can kind of be whatever you want to be, and
100%.
it's not perfect. It definitely, I think it used to be better when I was younger. There was a much bigger acceptance for just kind of whoever you were, whatever you were into. It was all good. Nobody was up in your business. It was like you could be who you wanted to be and everybody was cool with that. And it still holds some of that, I think, a lot more than other places that I feel like I go other places. And again, it's that thing where they're trying to make you fit a mold, you know, like it's like you have to fit in to be accepted. And I feel like Washington and the Pacific Northwest has way less of that. It's definitely more like everybody can kind of find their spot and belong.
No, that's true. That's true. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've grown up obviously too in Washington my whole life.
Yeah.
And I love it out here. I got a love-hate relationship with Washington and Seattle.
Yeah, it's true.
I would say for me, while I'm young, I'm actually planning on moving to New York soon.
So New York. I've never been there yet. I want to go out there.
I'm going to be out there for a bit, and I've spent time in LA. I've seen Miami. I've seen different places. I think like there is a very homey kind of feeling when you're in Washington or the Pacific Northwest of like I could settle down here, you know, like I could be comfortable like spending the rest of my life here. And I don't think up until recently I really came to that realization.
I feel like going to like LA and like bigger like cities and stuff, it's good for like, like getting your name out there and meeting all these connections and stuff like that. But I feel like I stayed at like Bankroll's house in LA and stuff like that and just seeing it and I'm just like, this ain't for me. Like of course the people that I met and stuff like that are cool and everything like that. I just can't do it. Like I feel like
it's the roots. It's the roots issue, right?
100%. But yeah, no, I love Washington. I'm very big on like the ocean. I love the ocean. So if I wasn't doing fashion, I'd definitely be a marine biologist.
See, this is why we're connecting because that was like on the top of my jobs list. The things I would have done when I was younger.
Beluga whale's my favorite animal. That's funny.
Absolutely.
I went to the zoo for my the day of my birthday, the 4th, and I got to I think we fed like rhinos. We fed rhinos. I seen like just like ape. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think of like the top ones. Yeah, the rhinos were cool. The gorillas remind me of like humans. Kind of. It's kind of crazy. Like because there's like babies. And just like their dad was there, and then the people like talking about it, I was like, wow, like they really remind me of like humans, just like chimpanzees and stuff like that. And then giraffes, they're like super tall and stuff. But I definitely want to like how you said you're going to like New York. I want to go to Atlanta just for the aquarium, the Georgia aquarium. I like watch them and everything like that. They got like whale sharks, they got beluga whales.
Oh, is that a big one?
Yeah, it's huge.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I watched a lot of like beluga whale stuff and just like how smart they are and just how goofy and then like just them as a person.
We're getting a fun random fact about Eric right now.
So have you been then to the Point Defiance Zoo in Tacoma?
No, I haven't been to that one. The Point Defiance one?
They have a beluga whale there.
No,
I think.
He moved. Oh, I know. I didn't get a chance. I know.
That's a bummer. Jess, you've been there when you were little.
Yeah,
when they had that.
I was young.
Yeah, that's true.
How was it? How old were you?
Oh
man, yeah.
Young?
I was
8, 9, maybe. Yeah, it's been a long time.
I have very like vague memories of it.
Okay.
Not like enough that I could like really put a picture on it. But I mean, I was. I want to touch on that Northwest kind of thing again, real quick, just because I didn't get to finish that. But if I'm lucky enough, I would love to have maybe multiple spots I could go. But at the end of the day, like I think talking about hearts and stuff, like my heart is definitely like in the Northwest.
Yeah.
Like, Seattle, like in Washington, there's always gonna that piece of me. It's like a first love kind of thing, It's always gonna be there, It's never gonna disappear. And I could definitely see myself having a place out here forever. if I'm lucky enough, I would have another spot somewhere else that I could
Oh,
go
you
Yeah.
back
definitely
and
will.
forth,
You definitely will.
Yeah.
So,
It's
Like,
it's like being grounded, right? It's like being
mhm,
able to have that sense of always going home.
yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
And then like I feel like a lot of people like to move, like a lot of like kids that are like in the teens, like 18, 19, the ones that like move out of state are like people that don't have really strong relationship with their parents. They don't like, if you really talk to them, they're
Mm.
like, oh, me and my, you know, my mom don't get along, or me and my dad, like stuff. Me, I'm very big on my family. Like I said, growing up, like, you know, in school and stuff like that, that's all I had. You know, I could come home and like those, I had a couple friends, you know, Taylor, I've been friends with him. Shout out Taylor. I've been friends with him since first grade. So
Oh,
that's a good
I
friend.
love that.
I used to, big fact about me too. I used to be a huge gamer. I got out of that. Like it got so bad. Like first to like, I think it was like 7th to 8th grade. I would always just be on the game. I never went outside, and I'm just like it has to change. So, but I'm very big on video games as well. But I don't really play as much as I used to. It was bad
It's
whenever I was a kid.
it's a big time consumer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind
I
of hard to balance that if you've got big
oh
dreams
yeah.
and you want to put your time into other things.
See, you know, and then
Yeah.
also just like I feel like I did that and like played a lot of video games because I wanted to escape reality, like as a like,
Mm.
you know, school and all that stuff like that. That was like those were my friends, you know what I mean? Like the people on
Yeah.
like Xbox and stuff like that, or like I don't know. Like I said, I didn't really have a lot of people. I didn't really trust a lot of people as well. Because like whenever you're going, like whenever you're bullied and stuff like that, and like everybody like looks at you and judges you, like you're very like it takes a lot for you to trust somebody. You're like, you know, let them come into your life type.
So
Yeah, for sure.
I have another random question that popped
Yeah.
up. You obviously said you went to MP Marysville
Yep.
Pilchuck for a little while.
Hmm.
Were you there when the incident?
No, I was. I remember that day. I was in Cedar Crest, the middle school in
Okay.
Cedar Crest.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember that day. Like we literally every school like literally went on like I can't remember what it's called whenever they
Lockdown.
lockdown. Yeah,
Yeah,
lockdown.
lockdown.
And then like after hearing it, it was crazy. It was
Yeah.
nuts. That definitely
Yeah.
affected the city. And it still does. Still does.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
was,
for people listening, and if you're not from Washington, I mean, what town hasn't been affected by this at this
Oh
point?
yeah,
But
this is
we
crazy.
had a shooting at our one of our high schools that was in Marysville, up north. You know, it's been a good amount of years now, but it was probably, I think it's been like maybe the first and the biggest in our state
Hmm.
when it
yeah.
seems right. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's not that far. Marysville, for anybody that's unfamiliar with Washington, it's not that far from Seattle. It's north. But at one point, Joshua lived in Marysville. We lived in Marysville and had a
Oh,
house there for a little bit.
that's awesome.
I
Yeah, when
actually
he was younger.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to name any names, but I actually knew the brother of
Oh,
the
okay.
individual personally.
Hmm.
They were all my class. So they were my age
Yeah.
and stuff. And that was a really obviously unfortunate, sad event. But I remember that, like, this was, if you put it into perspective, like, yeah, there's been a lot of sad, tragic incidents like that. But when this happened, it wasn't obviously at the forefront of all of that, but it was definitely during a time where I feel like incidences like that became more and more relevant.
Prevalent.
Yeah.
Prevalent. Yeah. It definitely is on the leading edge of that. I think it's interesting because I wonder, you talk about being bullied, and, I don't know what it's going to take for people to realize that choosing kindness is like ultimately going to save us.
No, 100%. And I feel like I don't know about this generation because I've been in like the schools or anything in a while since 19 whenever I graduated, but teachers and like all them people, they didn't really like care. They don't care until it gets huge. Like
Right.
you like they'll talk about like my mom got pissed off at school. She's like, all right, we're transferring my son because you obviously don't give a fuck, like that type
Yeah.
of stuff. So that's why. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Your mom and I would probably be friends.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
100%. Jesh will tell you that I was definitely up in people's business a lot at the schools.
She was. I mean, I was a little shithead, and I was going through stuff, and I mean, I had a lot of, I mean, like you, I had a lot of stuff that I was dealing with in my personal life, and a lot of things that were affecting me outside of school, and there was never a sense of like camaraderie or like, let's figure out what's going on. Like, why is he really like feeling the way he is? Like, what maybe, affecting him? It was always like, oh, he's just a loose cannon or this and that.
Yeah, he's a bad kid, or, they don't want to invest the time and the energy and understanding that, one, you guys are under immense pressure that I didn't have growing up. Like, it has changed in a way that a lot of people in my generation don't want to admit. And the reason why they don't want to admit it is because we're the ones to blame. Right? So if we say this is what's happening, then we have to take responsibility and we have to figure out how to fix it. 100%. And nobody wants to take responsibility. But the amount of pressure that you guys are under, the societal changes that are taking place at such a rapid pace, the fact that we want to pretend like it's not impacting young people in these really critical ways. And then the fact that we want to all ignore that you guys are in the most important developmental stage of your life. Like, 100%. That's supposed to be the safest space for you to make mistakes and to learn and to grow and to express your emotions and to figure out how to deal with that. And yet it's completely devoid of that. It's so absent that the expectation is that you just conform and you fit in, shut up, sit down, do what you're told. And like, that is a breeding ground for disaster, which we're seeing. We're absolutely seeing. But nobody wants to take responsibility. Nobody wants to step in and do the hard work. And man, that gets me all riled up.
No, yeah. And I feel like just like now, like our generation, we have all this social media, like kids don't feel like they're going to be something because they're not at this point of like this age or like this age. Like,
right.
Because they see like these people, playing in the NFL at like 21, 22. And then they see these rappers like multi-million-dollar things at 21, 22. But like, if you look at like the baby was like 28 whenever he blew up. Like, and also like it was me too at the same time. My mom was like, oh, you always had to have 9 to 5. And I was like, I don't really want a 9 to 5, like da-da-da. So like, just like, I'm not saying like anything on you or anything, but there's parents.
No. We have that conversation.
I'm always telling her like, I'm not working 9 to 5.
They force their kids to do something like, and I'm just like, what if they got dreams? You know what I mean? Like, you want them to be a doctor, but what if they want to be, a teacher? You know what I mean? That's the thing. Yeah. There's parents that like to force stuff on people. I'm not big on that.
That's true.
That's so funny. I mean, my parents have always, I'm sure you can tell by the way my mom
she's protective. She's like my mom. She wants to make sure.
She's always, and my dad's always been very supportive of like, do what you want to do. Like, we're in your corner. Like, we want to see you win. We want to see you succeed. Like, we're not, of course there's levels of like, all right, well, if you're fucking laying on your bed all day, not doing jack shit, you need to fucking do something. But if you're pursuing and you're active in like making something become a reality, like, no question.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes parents do, in my opinion, is like expecting you guys to have it figured out.
Yep.
Like, and this is something I'm learning in my own personal journey right now that is, I think, making me a better mom, maybe, Jesh. I don't have it figured out. So how in the world can I expect you at 19, 18, 16, 20, 22, 24? How can I expect you to have it figured out, right? Like, I'm still evolving as a person. I'm still figuring it out. And you're in that same journey. And so my hope in that is that you find those things that drive you to do good and to be the best version of you, and that you leave something for other people that inspires them and makes it better. 100%. And if that shifts and changes multiple times throughout your life, congratulations, you're growing. If you find one thing, if you find one thing you are passionate about and you stick with it and you evolve in that, congratulations, you've found that thing that drives you. Like, there is no way to make this thing perfect. You really just got to dive in and be the truest version of yourself you can be.
Yep.
That's what the world
100%.
needs. The world needs real people, true people, authentic people.
Yeah, that's 100%. Like, also, like, not trying to change subject, but like people, like, you see all, like, I don't know, you watch TikTok, like, just, I don't really watch TikTok, but there's a lot of TikTok
I watch it.
there's a lot of TikTok brands, right? And it's funny because you see them, like, they make like a good amount of money, but then they like quit. You know why? Because there's a lot of people like to just do things just for the money, and I'm like, don't chase that. Like, chase something that you're passionate about. Like,
yeah,
I wanted to bring that
buck
up.
will never last.
Oh yeah,
that's exactly it. Money is so temporary, whether it comes or it goes. But doing something that makes a difference, or doing something that feeds your soul as a person, like that's going to stay with you. Yeah, always.
And like I said, this generation, like, I feel like it's because we have all this internet. Everybody blows up so quick. So like me, like, I've been doing this stuff for 5 years. I'm not giant brand like Supreme and stuff like that, but I'm not quitting. Like, I'm working every day 24/7. I feel like it happens for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, because like whenever I first started, like, I seen like brands that would start like for a year, and I'm like, wow, they're like this big and everything like that. And then also, like, I stopped looking at like what other brands are doing, or like what other people are doing in their life. I started just focused on me, you know, like what I wanted to do and stuff like that. Like I said, I was like looking up to people like, oh, he has this and I'm not there. So I stopped doing that. You just got to keep going, like, and just keep trusting the process, because like it's going to happen. And I feel like the people that like it takes a long time for them to get where they're at, like, last longer than the people that just blow up and then they fall off.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I got I know we're definitely past what we talked about, but I'm enjoying this.
Oh yeah.
No, it's good. It's good.
I do have like I, at least on my head, I got like 2 more like questions. Mom, do you have anything?
I mean, I'm loving it. I'm loving this, so I'd love to hear your questions.
Word. So the first question I kind of have for you, bro, is, obviously we've talked about a lot of like what's built your brand, where you're at right now, you know, the driving factors. Where do you see the brand going? Like, what are some of your goals over the next 5 years or so? Like, where do you want to be?
So my first store, we're opening up this summer, so that's a big goal that's happening.
Hey,
first store finally. Thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate it. I definitely want to get like, growing up, I'm a big on cartoons. That's why I do like cartoon art and stuff like that. So I definitely want to like make my own cartoon. Like, just I love that. So like working on that.
That's cool.
This year it's just all about big collabs, but I'm not trying to work with like just like giant like collabs. I'm trying to work on like big collabs, as in like say, because I was like all my surgeries were at Children's Hospital, right? So I'm trying to get a collab with Children's Hospital. Like, you don't see that. You don't see that type of stuff like that. So I want to do like collabs that you don't see, like kind of like when Nike did like the collab with like Chunky Dunky, like the Ben and Jerry's, that like that type of stuff. That's what I want to do. I want to do collabs that are like, wow, like this really happened. This is crazy. So that type of stuff. Yeah. But I
love that.
Yeah, this year is just all about like collabs. I definitely want to do collabs because it gets my name out there. And then also just like the cartoon stuff, I'm working on that. I'm working on my own shoe silhouette. I've been dropping Air Forces. Yeah, I've been painting on Air Forces, but I want to make my own shoe. It takes a long time. Like, the process is very long, but it'll happen. It'll happen. It'll take long. But other than that, just like that, I want to start talking to schools more. I finally talked to the first school. It was kind of like I have anxiety, so like just talking to a school, like I kind of stuttered a little bit. So like I just got to practice on that stuff. But I love doing it because like after like the teacher's like, oh, that was your first time. I was like, yeah. Like in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I did terrible. You know what I mean? And then they're like, oh no, you did good and all that. So and just like connecting with people, I love doing that. And then I want to travel because like growing up, we never really went to no vacations or anything like that. Like Disneyland every once in a while. So I want to like travel, but I want to do, because like I'm very big on like music and stuff. I want to do like tours, but fashion tours. I want to do something like that. So
yeah. So where you didn't say, but where's your store?
We're either thinking the Marysville Mall because I'm from Marysville, or the Linwood. I was thinking Linwood just because it's in the middle. Yep, it's in the middle of Washington.
Yeah.
And then Marysville, just because I'm from Marysville, I grew up going to that mall all the time and just connecting with all the people, and it will connect with the city. And then also just like you get people from like Canada and like all the other countries and stuff. Bellevue, right. I definitely have a store in Bellevue. It's just I gotta start somewhere, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen.
Right.
I've even FaceTimed you when I was in.
It's in Bellevue. It's in
his stuff's in Bellevue.
Yeah, I saw that.
I appreciate.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like I said, it's been a journey. I'm very blessed to be where I'm at because like growing up, I was the one that got counted out. You know, there was times where people were like, "Oh, you ain't gonna be nothing. Like you were born like this for a reason," and stuff like that. And it's funny because now where I'm at, the people that used to bully me try to be like friends with me, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry for bullying," and stuff like that. Like I don't hold grudges and stuff. Like whenever they start telling me, and it's I don't want to bring up nobody's business, but there's a lot that like people, like you were saying, like people go through that you didn't know. So
but
it's like, all right, good luck, bro.
Yep.
Like, I appreciate the apology, but you know, keep it pushing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, that's why like I said, I'm big on like loyalty and stuff like that. Like the people that support you at the beginning to like where you're at now, like that's what I'm big at. Because there's a lot of people that like to chase clout. Like that's a big thing in this generation.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah, and it's definitely like okay to recognize that somebody's come back and been like, "Hey, I'm sorry about all that, and this is great." And you can say thanks for that, and I wish you all the best.
Yeah,
like
but there'll be times for like people text me like, "Bro, can I get backstage to like this?" And I'm like, "Bro, I don't even know you. Like, you've never showed no support, and you're gonna try to call my phone. Like, you know how it is. There's probably phone battery. Anyways,
shoot.
It's at 20. It's good. But like you know how it is. There's probably people that like text you like, "Can you link me up with Mosey or like this person like this?" You know how it is. Oh yeah,
of course, bro. When people see things you're doing or like connections you have, or they're always gonna try to get a piece of that.
Yep.
And, you know,
it's a fact.
Yeah,
like
but
there's a lot of people in life that like to take.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe in you can do whatever you put your mind to. You know, I was big on that. My mom and my dad always told me that. Cause like now, like growing up, now I've been going to the gym for a year, and just going to the gym, like it helps mentally for like mental health, but also just like seeing like how stronger I'm getting and stuff like that. And like the stuff that like I used to think I could never do, I can do now. Like it's like, and it just shows. You just put in the work, you know, every day, consistency, it'll happen. So
yeah, definitely.
It's awesome. Yeah, I love that.
All right. Well,
very cool.
I got one final question, unless Mom has anything else after, but
nope.
This is kind of our signature question when we bring guests on.
Okay.
Obviously the podcast is called Don't Do Stupid Shit, right? And I think for any of you guys listening that don't kind of understand, I did a lot of stupid shit growing up. A lot of stupid shit. And Mom was always telling me, don't do stupid shit. Don't do stupid shit. So the question for you, Serge, is what is the stupidest shit you ever did that you may not have told your mom about?
I'm trying to think.
Here it is.
There's one. Okay, so I got off work. I was working at Firehouse, and my buddy was there. It was like pouring rain. I got my car's all rear wheel drive, so it's definitely gonna drift. And like, so me, like my friends egging me on, let's race. And mind you, like, so like there's the lights like this, and we go like this. So I'm like, nah, I'm gonna smoke her. And so I went like 50, and then lost control, and my car spun and hit the barrier.
Oh,
and then I was like, and then I'm just like, wow, like I should have, like, in my head, I'm like, I shouldn't even have done that. Like, but after it happened, you don't think whenever you're like going, like doing the action, but after you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But also, I'm trying to think what else.
Did you tell her what happened, or did you give her a different story?
No. I had to call her.
Yeah, you did.
I had to call her. Yeah, I remember there was like this girl that was helping us. She was kind of rude though. She's like, fucking teenager with this kind of car at this like all this, like slammed my door. I was like, damn. But anyways, did that. She got there and then and then luckily there was no damage. It's crazy. Like God was looking over me or something. Like it literally jumped on like to like the yellow thing. I don't know what that's called.
Yeah, that like curve, like that barrier.
And it just it was just like stuck there, and then we just pushed it off.
Did you tell her you were racing, or did you tell her you just?
Yeah. Oh, so you told her, and
then she was pissed off for sure.
Jess, you've got some honest friends. I'm gonna give you that.
I had to.
Y'all tell your moms everything.
Oh yeah, I had to. That's like I said, that's like my best friend. I have to tell her.
Yep. Shout out to all these moms because all you guys are telling your moms everything. Now. I don't know what that says about me because I don't think Jess told me everything.
I've pretty much told you everything.
Now.
But at the time,
it always comes. You know, the truth always comes to light. It always happens.
Yes, it will.
Like my dad, my grandpa passed, and my dad was telling his dad before he passed, like things that he did as a kid. So it always comes out.
Comes out at some point.
Yeah, end of life confessions there.
But like me, I don't know. Like I said, I was always in the house. I didn't really like do anything crazy. I mean, with car stuff, done crazy stuff. But other than that, I tell my mom everything.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
Y'all,
everything.
Y'all are a bunch of good kids.
Yeah. That's a good story though. That's a good one. I fuck with that. So, I think we should wrap it up. I want Surge, where can people find you?
You can find me at _Royal Surge. That's for my brand page. My main page is Surge Season, SURGSCN, and then
on Instagram, right?
Yep, Instagram, yep. And then website is www.royalsurge.shop.
Okay.
Nice.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Well, for everybody that's listened through this, I'm sure you're gonna go on and go cop some merch.
Yes.
Come on. If you don't go cop some merch right now, you're missing out.
It's good stuff.
Only going up. So
yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
It's good stuff. It's full of color, full of life, full of message.
Yes.
If you're gonna wear something, you might as well wear something that means something, right?
No, 100. And just this new fashion, I'm not really a big fan of. It's super futuristic. I'm just
you're sticking with your big colors, big brand. I love it.
Have to.
For those of you guys listening, as always, we appreciate you if you made it this far.
Appreciate
you.
Make sure to rate the pod 5 stars, please.
Yes, sir.
If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
if
you're watching on YouTube, don't be scared. Drop a like.
Of course.
Make sure to subscribe and drop a comment as to who you want to hear on next.
Yeah.
Or any questions you may have for Surge or us. Make sure to drop a comment. But overall, we appreciate you guys. Surge, we appreciate you, bro.
Thank you so much.
This was such a good episode. One of my favorites for sure.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've loved this.
I've been trying to get better with podcasts. I don't know. I feel I get very nervous, and I've never had this stuff like this, spotlight type stuff. So I'm getting used to it.
Good.
Nah, this was awesome, bro.
Thank you.
I learned so much, and honestly, I was engaged throughout the whole thing.
Definitely.
When I'm not talking, I was so interested in hearing your story.
I appreciate it so much.
It's really cool. So.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, I'll say this warmed my mom heart. Shout out to your mom.
Of course.
Tell her that I send her my love.
Of course.
From one mom to another.
I will. Whenever she gets here, I'll send Joshua a video of her thanking you guys and stuff.
Yeah, that's sweet. And then we'll have to we'll watch and follow along your journey, and I'm sure down the road we'll have a follow-up as you just continue to grow.
Yeah, of course. You guys we can just have it at my store or something, something crazy.
Oh yeah, I love that.
So
that's good.
When we upgrade everything, we do it in person. We'll do the second part at your store for sure.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited.
But yeah, again, appreciate you, bro.
Of course.
Thank you for everybody that listened through the episode.
Yep.
Thank you for all the support. You always showed me mad love, bro. I really appreciate it, for real. Thank you so much.
Of course,
it's
bro.
Good.
I always got to support people that support me. That's how it goes.
Yeah, we love it. Yep.
Love it.
All right. Well, it's been good.
Everybody listening, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. And we will see you next week. Don't do stupid shit.
Don't do stupid shit. Peace.